Hello, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well. I wish everybody a nice Monday morning. My Alabama Crimson Tide came up short. That's okay. But the problem is, we played a tougher schedule. I know we had two losses. I know we came up short against Tennessee and LSU. We'll be back there next season. We have a good recruiting class. We're not going nowhere. We have a good quarterback to replace Bryce Young. Hopefully, he comes back for his senior year. I'm not sure. But the problem is who they have ahead of us. Um, Georgia hasn't played no one. They won't. They haven't played anyone. Let's just get that out of the way. They haven't played a single dime. They've been helped all season. They had a cakewalk high school schedule. Michigan has been struggling more than we have. Michigan Wolverines have been struggling more than we have. I know they beat. I know they went undefeated, but they haven't played no one. They have struggled minorly, and being Ohio State does not mean anything to me. Okay, once more, the Big Ten conference is the weakest conference in history and the worst conference. Then the ACC. And then TCU, again, struggled all season, barely won their games, has struggled, and then they lose a game and they're still in the playoffs, which I don't understand that. They haven't played anyone. And then the last team, Ohio State, they haven't played no one. They barely beat their opponents. They have barely beat their opponents. And then when they faced Michigan, they got crushed and they're still in the playoffs. They have struggled all season. I understand Alabama has two losses. I understand it. But we have won our last few games by double digits. We took care of business against a bad Auburn team, and we're still out of the playoff picture. To college football committee, who does the playoff committee, I don't know what you're doing. I think you have lost a lot of sponsors, advertisers, commercials. The only people who are going to be watching the college football playoffs form the playoff four-way playoff is the fan base. Nobody else is going to pay attention to it. Having Ohio State against uh, Georgia Bulldogs, you're not going to draw any viewers that way. It's all set up for Georgia. Make it that easy to make it back to back, and there's a lot of fixing. The refs have been horrible in the uh, college football this year. There's been a lot of missed calls. It's been really that bad. And I want to say one more thing. Congratulations, Las Vegas. You are the true national champions. What a fix. It's that bad. I know a lot of people don't think that, but it's that bad. It's fixed. It was all set up for Georgia Bulldogs to go back to back because it's a joke. Because they don't want to put Alabama against Georgia because you know what would happen if we Georgia faces a real defense and a real offense. I'm sorry, Georgia's gonna blow out Ohio State and make it look like a cakewalk for them. And I'm not sure what's gonna happen between TCU and Michigan. That's a toss up to me because both are overrated. It's a joke. It's a big time joke. Thank goodness college football is extending the playoffs format next season, but they better get this corrected because right now, the teams who are not being talked about right now is like Kansas, Kansas State. They play good football. Washington Huskies in the Pac-12. They play good football. They're not being talked about. Oregon State, Florida State, Oregon Ducks, Tulane. They had a good season, 11-2, and USC, Utah's football, and then Alabama, who's at number 5, and then Tennessee. Except for Georgia, the four teams are in the playoffs. Half of the teams I just mentioned, they didn't play any of those real offense or defense. So that's why it's so rigged and fixed. This has to be the worst four-way team playoff in history. You're not going to draw any sponsors or advertisers, commercials. You're going to lose a lot of viewers. The only viewers, like I said, is going to be the fans who are watching their team in the four-way playoffs. It's a really joke. Sorry if I'm ramping it. I'm just saying college football is a really joke. It's fixed. Like I said, congratulations to the real champs. Um, the national champions is Las Vegas. What a fix! It's really that bad because in the rest of these teams like UCLA, South Carolina, and any of these teams who play good season, none of those four teams in the playoffs had played any of the real offense or real defense. Their schedule was a cakewalk. Their schedule was like a high school kids teams they were playing, not that good. And why they didn't put Alabama in there, because Alabama would Georgia Bulldogs would have the real team, face real offense, most likely struggle or lose that game. I'm not sure, but I think Alabama beat them and moved on to the national championship. But anyways, like I said, the playoffs. This has to be the worst four-way college football playoffs in history. The four teams are in there. What a joke! They haven't played no one, and most likely, like I said, it's all set up for Georgia. It doesn't matter who they're going to play. It's a joke. They won't put the good teams in there because they know those good teams would knock those overrated four teams out of the way, and that messes up the Vegas's money and odds. You know all that stuff. I'm not gonna get into it. You know what I'm talking about. But take care, everyone. Have a great Monday. God bless all my family and Filipino friends. Have a good morning to lovely Emmy Estrella. Have a good morning for yourself. I hope you're doing well. Miss you very much with a big heart. Take care, everyone. And that's how I feel about the four-way college football playoffs. It's fixed. It's a joke. Like I said, nobody's gonna watch it except for the fan base of their teams.